Whatever technology has to offer, you have to take it in moderate.
People need to be aware that you don't put your details or you don't put things that you'll regret.
Every gamble you take, make sure you know that you're ready for the challenge if it doesn't work out. I think that's really important.
Hi everyone, welcome back. So in the final session, we are going to explore a little bit about the relationship between technology and mental health. So the first question I have is for you, Ashinka. How has technology impacted mental health? Both, you can share your perspective on both the negative and the positive sides of it.
Yeah, so I think that depends on the person, the way you see it. Not everybody is going to post their failures and their challenges on Facebook or whatever, on social media. So people are going to, put all the happy moments and, and their success stories and all of that. And maybe you might be not going through, you might be not going, through the same thing at that particular moment. And I think it's the constant comparison people have. They compare, they look at, they look at other people's stuff and, they compare this. But now I think a lot of people have that awareness also that, you shouldn't be comparing yourself. Technology has helped us to understand a lot about, mental health. Like different, back in the day, mental health wasn't given a very important place, I believe, because my grandmother is a bipolar patient. And I don't think the doctors even knew back in the day, but it actually was until we sent her, until she's in Australia, and now we know exactly what's wrong with her. So now social media, with that access, you get to know about all, even the minor cases, the major cases, all of that. So there is awareness, and then you when you feel something like you may be feeling anxious or depressed, you know exactly what you feel, and then about the positive impact of social media, if you take, I think the awareness itself is a positive thing, to get it to know about it.
So loudly about it, openly about it.
And being happy for other people, because you can see everyone, right? Everyone is just, a tip of a finger away. So you have to be happy for others. I think with social media, when you are happy for others, you can be happy for your own self. Your small achievements. You can be happy for yourself when you're happy for others. And rather than taking whatever social media or technology or whatever, rather than taking it in a negative way, but there's a lot of negativity as well. If you see some things put you down, and some things I think you have to take it with a grain of salt. You have to be more not biased with anything, and you have to take it everything in moderate. Like whatever technology has to offer, you have to take it in moderate, and that way I think you can find balance in the good and bad, and
you can actually turn it towards your own good, right?
Take the good and drop the bad. That's what mom used to say those days. So
Great. So now that we're on the topic of social media, Dmitri, I'd like to ask you, where in this day and age where social media is like a big thing, how can individuals protect their mental health, when being exposed to everyone on social media, and how can you sort of safeguard yourself from the negative effects of online interactions? Can you share your perspective on it?
Yeah, I think social media, though there are so many positives, it's quite harmful also, especially if you get hooked onto social media at a very young age also, where sometimes you're not matured enough, you're not mentally developed enough to understand the goods and the bads. There are a lot of negative things happening on social media nowadays, where using, like, there are, from the other than the normal ones, there are other ways where sometimes people get onto it for the wrong reasons. Sometimes not to generalize it, but there are sometimes young girls who just get hooked onto it, and they try to make money out of it by either posting or doing something which sadly affects them. They don't realize when you get hooked onto it at a young age, you're ruining your right, somewhat of your reputation as well, because that can lead to and so many, you see all these, sometimes sadly people have taken images of certain things and those that spread around, so that can cause a lot of heartache and a lot of stress for not only the individuals but also parents, family, all of that. So people need to be aware that you don't put your details or you don't put things that you'll regret. I think that is one aspect. And also there are things like, even when it, especially larger corporations, when they employ people, they look at your social media feeds to see whether your political views, your religious views, your if you have any other extreme opinions in life, which can lead to issues in the workplace. So in Sri Lanka, still that's somewhat, it's not that big when people go checking your social media, but I know internationally they check, they verify your social media and they screen you to see what you do. So you might sometimes, something that you posted when you were 18 will probably not get you the job when you're 30 if you have posted something stupid. So it's important to know what you, when you're young you made mistakes, but hopefully you'll learn from those. And a lot of it's a scary thing, because now from the ages of 7-8 you see children on social media. So I think, okay, I'm not a parent or married, so but not the best to advise, but others who are fathers, mothers, it's important how you guide your children, educate. But there's a lot of social pressure when you go to school. Sometimes others will make you do certain things. So it's important to, as adults, parents, to teach your children the importance of what to use it for the right purposes. Learn about things. It's no harm posting images of family or friends, but what you post. So it's important to understand what's good and bad, and it's that awareness of anything. So again, that how you respond to these things.
Yeah, that's important. It's like the key is like when you're putting something up there, you should know like that's it. It's there forever. And then like, and in this day and age, everyone's connected. There's no place to hide.
Yeah.
So when you put something out there, it's about making sure you're not going to regret it later
Exactly.
on. Great. So since we were talking about how we're all connected, it's very easy to get like a sensory overload this day and age, right? You know, we're like hearing stuff from everywhere, and then with everybody, everything feels like you're running a race, right? So something we all may have faced at some point in our life is burnout. So Jason, when you hit a burnout, how do you sort of navigate and come out of that situation? Or when you feel like you've hit a wall and you cannot pick yourself up or think anything new, how do you sort of manage a situation like that?
I would say, firstly, try to, when you feel that coming, I think prevention might be a good one. Taking some time off, taking a break, maybe taking a holiday, checking out some jet-wing hotels, not a bad idea, and just being with a partner or a family, whoever like you're close to, maybe have a chat. Even not during the week, maybe it's okay to take a day off. I mean, we all take the weekend off to a certain point. So maybe it doesn't have to be, you going and spending. It could just be at home with some friends, having a chat, having tea, drink, or whatever it is, whatever you feel comfortable doing. I think the prevention part is also quite important before you get to the burnout. And then I guess if you get to that point, maybe obviously your support system that hopefully you've had strong throughout will be there at that time to then maybe guide you, pick you back up, tell you it's okay. And it's okay, you made the mistake, it's okay, we're here, it's okay, we can still go forward, it's not the end of the world. Understanding that takes a lot as well. And when you start your own business, when you do your own business, to a certain point it's a gamble, right? You're taking a certain amount of risk, and maybe also understanding that you're not perfect and it's okay that you made a mistake. We can walk out of it, and every gamble you take, make sure you know that you're ready for the challenge if it doesn't work out. I think that's really important, that people should understand that. I think being proactive with understanding that type of issue is really important. So like I said, I personally go camping every 2 months. I think I disconnect in that manner, and I think that really helps me a lot. And on the weekend, I of course definitely meet my friends. During the week with my wife, so we're always like talking, discussing things, and I think distracting yourself with different tiny things might help you as well. Right now, since my kids are very young, I think that's been a distraction in a good way. So I think maybe later on I might have more issues that the midlife crisis might come later on. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah.
Take it as it comes, one day at
Yeah.
a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next question I have is a bit of an interesting question asked from you, Ashinka, but then you guys can feel free to contribute and share your perspective. So obviously your workplace plays a crucial role in your mental health, right? So how do you, if you're struggling with something with relation to mental health, how do you communicate it to your superiors or your leaders without fearing that you will be perceived as weak? How do you balance a situation like that? I think that's something that we all struggle with. You want to be open, seek help from the organization that you work with, but then you're like, okay, will my boss think, I'm not good enough to do it? I don't have the capacity to do it. So how do you sort of navigate a situation like that?
So to be honest, I've faced that, I've spoken about, about how I feel once with my boss, and I got it in the wrong way. So I had to go back to him and, tell him, to understand, this is what I'm trying to tell you. And he was nice enough to take time for himself to understand, because see, our bosses, like my boss is like, our age gaps are huge, and he's from a different generation, I'm from a different generation. So he understood, he's used to working with, his team was something that was always close to his age, and they have that, the thing, they're very different the way they work with compared to our generation. So now I was able to speak to him, and then now we have a system that's, that accommodates how we feel, validates how we feel, and, talks us through it. Our work colleagues, like my work colleagues are very friendly, and, we're there for each other, we speak to each other. And about the negative thing, I know how it feels, because sometimes your boss is like, just pick up yourself, you can do it. And, like, I'm not sure if I can even do it at a point, but so it's quite challenging. I think I've not faced that to a great extent, because I was able to speak to him and, make things work the way I like. But yeah, I think they might have something better to tell about it than me.
Well, yeah, regarding that, it's never easy. I think as a boss also, people may come and talk to you with different problems. One thing which is important is listening. You listen to the problems and you see as what you to do to assist. Sometimes certain people might require some professional assistance as well, because depending on how serious or severe the situation is. So then, like anything else, there are professionals, qualified doctors who are licensed, who are medically qualified to either listen or, depending on the requirement, prescribe medication. So it's important that you listen first, and sometimes if it's pretty serious, it's good for maybe to you to have another person with you also to listen to, without that way you get a bit of an opinion as well, another senior person who could also who could assist. But if there is a situation where someone requires, we have had many instances where there have been people, sometimes it's little things like having a fat word, and then one day I realized the girl has actually, she's getting married and it's sweet, but never knew that. So those type of things happen in organizations. So then that guy is completely down, and you might think it's a laughing matter, but those that seriously impact someone. So how you handle that, where you don't make a issue out of it, because otherwise you're jeopardizing that other person's relationship as well. So you have to balance it out and see what the best you can do. But if there is something extra, then actually we at our office we use like at least once a month or once in 2 weeks get a specialist to come also, where it's we nobody know. She just comes as a psychiatrist, and anybody can. The number of the doctor is given, and they had to directly make an appointment and go and see the and so it's a nobody needs to know that you're doing. You just go spend 10-15 minutes and thought about your troubles. So those type of things we also do, and I know some of the other organizations also have those. I think especially when you grow, you need to see how you can be. It's not easy always to talk to one-on-one. Also sometimes, especially in our culture, people are hesitant to come and talk because, like you said, sometimes they feel that I'm not good enough, or so they prefer to speak to a neutral person. So depending on how comfortable the individual is, we give that option.
So again, it goes back to creating a work culture where there's have that stigma and that resources are available. Well, I learned so much from you guys. Honestly, I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time and coming here, being open and just sharing you guys' experience. So before we conclude for the day, is there anything like any final words you guys want to share? I'll start with Jason.
Final words.
To leave the audience with.
I think for me, I would say I think the journey to the top might be the fun part. I think once you get to the top, I don't think it's as fun. I think, and it's okay that you being number one shouldn't. I don't think that's your goal. I think having an overall balanced life, which I still struggle with. I think that's a lot more important than just being number one in one place. I think that's my opinion. And I think find your cap, find where you feel comfortable, where your family is comfortable, and it's okay to be there. That doesn't make you less of something or not ambitious. I think taking your family forward and being a unit together, like Dmitri also says, being a unit together, I think that's success in my opinion. And I think that's what we all tend to forget, because obviously you need money, you need to be in a workplace. I think we tend to forget the other stuff because we are driven to that, and you can't blame it if we have to live, right? That's just how things are. But yeah, maybe that's a point to take back. Yeah,
something very good to hold on to. What about you, Dimitri?
Yeah, I think as all, you should try to be the best version of yourself. Do good, and everybody has a time on this earth, so you try to do as much as possible, work-wise, family-wise, and if you become successful on the way, that's all well and good. And you help people who are less fortunate. We are a bit thankful for the positions we are in, and helping. End of the day, it's the little things you do that will also people will remember you for. So be a kind soul. So you have to be thankful for what you have, what God has given, and you have to. I think that's what I always try to do. You have to be grateful for what you have, and then you give also the same way. So that's something that we have, our family, how we brought up, always you give back also. So live a simple life, a humble life, because when you live a humble life, it's very easy. That way there's no place to fall when you have your feet on the floor. Even if you get knocked down, you won't get hurt. But if you're on a pedestal and you fall, you'll always get hurt. So I think that's something we always love: simplicity and live a good life. Yeah, everybody has a very short time on this earth, so maximize it, live it to the fullest, and enjoy life. I think that's the most important thing. Whether you are successful or not, you can easily enjoy life in means the way you can. So I think the more you enjoy life, the less stressful you become as well. By the end of the day, whatever you do, how much money you make, what you all have to leave this behind and either go to heaven or hell. So just live the best life you can.
So beautifully said. Thanks for sharing that. Ashinka, anything to add?
I think you are your own competition. You do things that make you happy and your family happy, and we always be there for people like Dimitri and Jason said, be nice to everyone. the little things that matter, the little things that count. Take one day at a time. And the constant comparison is, that sometimes pushes people to move forward and sometimes breaks down people. So whatever comes, take it in a very positive way. If you have to cry, cry, but then, bounce
Be
back up
dramatic, but come
yeah,
back
be
to-
dramatic.
First
That's what
thing.
we are good at, be dramatic, and then you're fine. You have to, talk yourself through.
Yeah.
And then that's what we all do, I think, at the end.
Cool. Thank you so much for sharing that. And once again, thank you so much, guys. I'm pretty sure today's podcast was super insightful for everybody watching in. We'll be back again with another interesting episode. Until then, bye.
If you enjoyed that video, make sure to like and subscribe to the GEP YouTube channel. And we also have a bunch of very interesting practical short courses which are related to the episodes from the podcast. So stay tuned.